Today was difficult. Clearly, conditions play a huge part in the game. We've been very lucky. It felt like we've escaped winter over the course of the last couple of months. We played in generally pretty good conditions. Those probably bar the Bath games back to back. But it's difficult. The Cheetahs came with a plan, like they wanted to just kick the ball long, keep it on the field, make us trying to sort of almost trick us into playing back at them. So we cough up a try from a turnover situation. It's almost, I think, makes us a little bit jittery. So we maybe get a little bit too cautious at times in the game. But ultimately we won the game. Very difficult conditions to play in. Cheetahs, I think, are a team that are getting better all the time. You saw particularly how close that game was down in Galway against Connacht, and they're not affected obviously by any call-ups or anything. So they've got a good level of cohesion in their group now. Their team doesn't chop and change a huge amount. So overall we're pleased to get a win. Sets us up for later in the season. We have a little bit of a break now, trying to regenerate and store up some energy for the challenges that lie ahead now. There's a good chunk of players missing, and we've used a lot of different players during these 3 games, so that's definitely pleasing. Few new caps as well. I think Ronan Keller last week, Jack Dunn the week before in Zebra, Patrick Patterson, his first game here in the RDS where he scored his first try, and so there's little things like that make a big difference over the whole, in the bigger picture. And it's important that the guys are getting a bit of experience. Even some guys, they're slowly going from 8 to 9 to 10 to 11 caps. Even that bit of experience is important at this level, and it gives us more and more options for the run-in. So we'll have a pretty full-on, hopefully, block of games. What we hope to have, we'll digest, I guess, what's gone on over the last few weeks. As I said, we'll have a little bit of a break and come in there, Edinburgh away. And then we have obviously quarter-final in Aviva. So, to the brave souls that managed to stay out there today, they'll have hopefully a bit more shelter for the next game in the Aviva. It was frustrating, but as I said, it's so difficult to play in the conditions. So, at the end, I thought we looked like we were building good pressure. I'll have a look back and see exactly how that maul breaks up at the end and how the Cheetah player gets in there. But it is what it is. We've got to win, and we've got the required points that we need to get us where we want to be later in the season. Great for Reece. He leads the team so well. He's had a bit of a disjointed period, so in and out. So he was due to play against Zebra, picked up a knock that week. So he's worked hard to get back and gets himself in the mix now for what's ahead now in the Six Nations and beyond that. Certainly won't have that feeling when we were down in the sports ground last year when we got beaten 47 points to 10. And I'm scrambling to find out what the actual score is in the Scarlet Dragons game at the time. And even doing the press after that game last year, I still had to ask Marcus and Guy was there, do we actually have a home semi-final? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because after losing that game to that extent, we never want to go through that experience, even regardless if we qualified or not. So, but yes, will save those stressful moments, I believe. So even now I have to ask, have we actually qualified for a semi-final? So, the players have worked hard during this period, which is pleasing, and they're creating good competition in the group. It's, as I said, it's all along. It's you're trying to create that competition because that drives, I think, the individual performance, and then which just drives the collective performance. So, they know it's at stake. They knew it was a big game for them tonight. The window of opportunity. If you think there's Ireland play against France and Wales, and we hope we have a good chunk of guys that are involved in those games, but then they all come back in, and then suddenly it's everyone's jostling for position in the team. So, we'll have a good dig at what's going on over the course of the last few weeks and see where guys have gone well and what they need to work on for the next block. So, and hopefully the group will be nice and healthy and competitive for what's ahead. I suppose we'll watch what happens in the Six Nations games over the next couple of weeks. So see how the guys come through. It's been a bit disjointed for a number of players, picking up little niggles here and there. But hopefully we get everyone back healthy and well. And then you can make some decisions based on what we see over the next couple of weeks unfolding. We'll have a bit of time off next week, but then the week after guys will come in and we'll train hard and try and gear ourselves up for the challenge of Edinburgh. Because again, we want to make sure everyone knows. I think every time they play now that they've got their windows. So then it's trying to get the balance between who needs the games, who doesn't need the games, etc., etc. So there's so many different variables that go into it. But as I said, we're pleased with the attitude of the group over the last couple of weeks, and we'll need that now for the block ahead. And guys, ultimately, there will a lot of guys will be frustrated with some of the selections, but they need to make sure that they bide their time, because hopefully we progress on. We know we have a quarter final of Europe to look forward to, which is in whatever 2 games time for Leinster. But there's 2 Six Nations games prior to that. But then there's the semi-final of the league now we have to look forward to as well. So there's lots of games. What we call our finals games, because if you lose them, you're out.